Welcome to the Libertarian Atheist Skypecast. Today is Thursday, March 2nd, and welcome back. We do have Jeremy, Heather, John, Curran, Adam, and Betsy. Welcome, everybody.
Hello.
You meant Alex,
Hello.
right?
Alex. We wish Alex were here.
Oh, no, we
Yeah,
don't.
no. Is this Adam fella for Alex?
Then again, I wish for bleeding ulcers. Only kidding. I kid.
Yeah, I actually unfollowed him on Facebook a while back, so I didn't have to listen to the...
He would probably like to participate if we have him.
He wanted to. Remember, he was contacting me privately, like trying to find out the time, and I had to kind of say, I don't think you're welcome anymore, pal. None of you guys would. And he goes, oh, that's okay. No biggie.
Yeah.
Too proud. Like, you can't be in it if you're not in the group anymore. You got kicked out, remember?
Yep.
Yeah, he just couldn't adhere to no more than 5 obscenities in one sentence.
Right. Well, I had to reprimand him for using the F word repeatedly on my timeline, and I finally said, there's a lot of old people on here. Stop. That's exactly what I said. I'm not 22, and none of my friends are, so shut up.
Exactly, yeah.
When I think of profanity, in relation to Alex, it's not the 7 words. It's basically just his preposterous ideas that's what's profane to me.
Right?
Like sending me 15 links to the bottom videos and then asking me the next day if I've started watching them. I mean, he did that to me.
Oh, yeah, I just ignored most of his posts. I'm like,
Yeah.
I just don't have time anyway. I'm like, I'm so busy all the time. It's like, I ain't got time to read your big diatribe on this kid movie and why it's terrible for political reasons and... Oh, my goodness. Anyway, so...
Topic, sorry.
Oh, no, we're fine. We're fine.
Enough about things that people have no idea.
If you're listening in, we're sorry.
That were here but after Alex.
The legend of Alex. We'll have to start like a whole legend of Alex and then just like make it like ridiculously worse as time goes on, you know?
Well, in the military, when you're in the military and you get sent overseas, they always talk about Jody. He's the guy that's going to steal your woman while you're away. So,
oh yeah,
Alex can be our Jody.
There we go.
That's great. What a great name to pick.
Is he going to steal our roads while we're away?
I have an announcement. Actually, I'm just as an experiment, and we can probably turn this off because it's trained on my ugly face right now. But I've gone live on Facebook in the group, so people can look at me be awkward and listen to me be awkward at the same time. So.
Alrighty then. So anyway, we're going to talk tonight about the video.
What is the video we're watching again?
We'll let Betsy describe it because she is the one who recommended it.
I don't even remember it. It's been like 2 weeks. You forget.
So yeah, well, it was Dave Rubin and I can't think of the other 2 guest names now.
Christina
Hoff, right?
Hoffman.
Christina Hoff Summers.
Yes.
No, that's what I call it.
Bogosian.
That's right. And they were at where was it at? Seattle or Portland?
University of something in Seattle. Portland.
Yeah, and they were talking about like thought crime and you know,
right,
and how you can't have a logical discussion anymore because of
all the politically correct.
Exactly, it is. It's impossible to
social justice and
But yeah, the thought crime thing
is an audience from the school, basically.
Mm-hmm. And they had some people boo them because they talked about Antifa, and so it was an interesting. I didn't listen to it all, but I did listen to some of it, so it was good.
And then they called Dave Rubin a homophobe.
Oh yeah.
And he's gay.
I know, isn't that hilarious?
They've called Miley Yiannopoulos.
They've called Miley.
So that's how you know you've really come out of the closet.
I know. It's awesome.
Have you ever listened? There was what's his name? That one comedian that was on the Daily Show a lot. Something Black.
Lewis Black.
Yeah. Have you ever heard his stand up? And like one time he talked about how he was, I think, in New Orleans, and there was a Starbucks to the right, and he looked to the left, and there was another Starbucks. So he said he knew he had reached the beginning of the world because. So that's kind of how I feel, about this whole SJW thing, and especially calling you know,
They're calling
homosexuals
people
homophobes. So I'm like, you've
Something's
reached,
gone awry.
yeah, you've reached some kind of peak there, you know.
Right.
Like, yes, that's where
He
reality
addresses
and the
that.
absurd
Right.
meet is right at that point.
Yes.
That's right. That's a good way to say it.
Yep.
Except they're still at it again, even at
They
Berkeley
are.
again.
They blocked. He got. Was that what happened with Dave again? They canceled one of his
Yeah.
very recent.
I mean, that's the accusing homosexuals of being homophobic is not. I mean, that's unusual, but the concept is not unusual. I can think of a lot of conservative African
It's because they're
Americans.
conservatives, like Milo.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, or
A lot of conservative African Americans have been accused of being racist, and like,
that's right. It's just
where do you get that
Uncle
from?
Tom or the.
I guess it is kind of the
Because
Uncle Tom thing.
they don't conform with the political positions, and so they just get rejected and abused.
I'm trying to figure out how that would work because I remember that skit from Dave Chappelle when he's the blind. He's blind, but he's part of the KKK. And he doesn't know he's black.
Yeah.
Oh, God. How
Power.
does that work if you're gay and you don't realize it? Like,
How do you not know you're gay?
that's a butthole? Oh my God!
I always wondered why I had an erection when I saw another man.
Wait a
And
minute.
now I know.
Each gender has one of those the last time I checked. So I might post something from Andrew Dice Clay about transsexuals, if allowed to, from one of his concert performances. But that's neither here nor there.
Post it for us.
On the site, because somebody was talking about these SJWs and transgender bathrooms or something.
Now, I guess that's interesting because I don't recall the Dice Man for social commentary. I just remember him from the Dirty Jokes, you know.
Yeah.
His famous
Same
nursery
here.
rhyme gag.
I'm not saying you learn anything from it, but you might be entertained.
I forgot about the dirty nursery rhymes. Those are hilarious.
Hickory dickory
Oh,
dock.
they are.
This
They're
bitch
the
was
best.
sucking my cock. Yeah.
Yes, we're not a clean show, folks. This is not a show for the
Yeah,
kids.
exactly.
Do not
Trigger
invite
warning.
your kids.
Okay. Where were we?
We were
We're
talking.
ready to go listen to that thing.
Yep, we can definitely listen to it. Here, let me grab my.
It's long. We're going to have to do it in parts, I think. It's an hour and a half, I think. Because the question and answer section I found.
You should be able to run it through the computer, honestly, if you want to do it that way.
Yeah, actually, why don't I do it that way? Hang on. I'll run it through the computer.
Now, Betsy, did you take notes? Do you have timestamps written down? Or well, I'm sure Adam, you probably do. One of you?
You know I don't.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, good.
I've got a few.
Do you have the whole video notated? Because it might be useful to kind of just skip ahead to those portions.
Oh, I see.
You know what I
Instead
mean?
Well, but we gotta have the beginning though, so we know
Yeah.
set the.
Yeah,
We
my
can-
first note isn't until 13 minutes and 33 seconds in.
Okay, so how about we kind of digest the first, I don't know, 3 to 5 minutes, whatever it takes to set up the premise of the video, and then we'll skip ahead to like right around the 13-minute mark where Adam has started his notes. How does that sound?
We can try
Whatever
that.
you like.
Okay.
Okay, so now I just gotta find. There it is. Okay. Hopefully we can all hear it well.
They're going to do some introductions too, so you could probably, I don't know, see how
Yeah.
that starts. Because it takes, if I remember, it takes a few minutes to get actually to the point.
All those, those panel discussions that
Yeah, and they
those
introduce the
lectures.
organization that's sponsoring them and all that, so it takes
Yeah.
a couple minutes to get to the actual subject.
No, let's go back
So,
here.
so who was the participants? Christina Haas Summers was one.
We'll hear it. Hold on.
Peter Bogosian and
Okay.
and
Okay,
Dave Rubin.
let's get to. Let me know if you can hear it. Okay.
Professor of philosophy
It is kind of quiet. Is there
Yeah,
a way
my computer's not that loud.
Is there a way
so
to
we
increase
probably
the
should.
volume on the video?
No. That's why I said we needed to probably do my phone.
Okay.
Okay, hang on.
It was worth a shot. It
Do
was
you
worth a shot.
have a VLC player by any chance installed on your computer?
You don't.
I don't think so.
Or
No.
You should have it though.
It's a free program. It's great. It was developed
Okay.
by the folks at Georgia Tech.
Nice.
It's fantastic.
It's a wonderful program. Plays all types of multimedia files.
All right. Well, let's try my phone. 'Cause it'll be a lot better.
The mobile app for VLC is also quite good. I use it every day.
Yes, it is.
For the Center for Inquiry.
Oh. Sorry, guys. I'm having technical difficulties, apparently. I had this problem last time I was playing.
I
this
could
video.
kill the live feed. I don't think anybody's tuned in anyway.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So I can do it. I will.
Much for coming out on this Friday night. My name is Andy Ngo, and I am one of the student leaders with Free Thinkers at PSU. We are a secular humanist student group.
Yeah, every time I turn my phone upside down, it turns off. I don't know why. So hang on, we'll get it going. Anyway, we can still talk amongst ourselves for a minute.
Should I try to my phone too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. See if I...
All right. You know, I actually had 2 viewers. I didn't see the number. Well, sorry. Sorry to the.
Sorry, guys.
Sorry to the 2 of us that were watching that.
One of them might have been me, because I think I clicked on that link on Facebook.
Okay.
So you're watching yourself?
Yeah, it's like Inception or something. I've never even seen that movie, but I'm just guessing because everybody makes
Forward
sense.
it to me, please.
Okay.
I mean, 2 is better than I expected for the live feed. That's good. I bet
Not bad.
if we would have kept it rolling, I might have, maybe broke double digits. You think? Yeah, I don't know about that.
They did live feed last night. Well, I got to make a little announcement too, because I'm the membership director for the Douglas County Libertarian Party, and I convinced Jeremy to run for the communications director, and we voted him in last night. So he's the new communications director for the Douglas County Libertarian Party. So.
Cool.
Congratulations.
Yep.
Thank you.
And then the Nebraska Libertarian Party's having a big unconvention now over New Year's Eve, and I'm going to be the tabling director for that. So that will definitely have to keep you guys
But
updated on that.
that's a national event.
It's going to be a national event,
and,
yeah.
And we want libertarians from all over the planet really to attend if it's at all possible. So
Yep.
if you guys have, if you guys are open this coming New Year's holiday, come to Omaha and come to the unconvention.
I have plans. No.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah,
Gee,
thanks.
I have no idea.
Only thing I know about Omaha is Omaha Mutual or something. Whatever those old nature.
Warren
Mutual
Buffett
of
lives
Omaha's
here.
Wild
Mutual of
Kingdom?
Omaha. Yeah.
Yep.
Wild Kingdom.
Warren
They
Buffett
kick
lives here.
deers off cliffs.
Yep, Warren Buffett lives here. We're the home of Berkshire Hathaway.
Yep.
Actually, Warren
Did you say
Buffett.
Warren Buffett lives
Yeah,
there?
Warren.
Yes, he
Warren
does.
Buffett just lives like about a
I'm
mile
never
from our
going there,
house.
ever. Now.
Don't forget Dick
far
Cavett.
left, they're trying to make America.
Okay, did you get it?
I believe so.
Okay, let's go ahead and try and listen to the video again.
Okay.
Like Iraq or Saudi Arabia or Iran, where people have to watch out what they say,
Is
and
it
that's
showing up
really
everybody
dangerous,
hearing
and we
that, or-
cannot have this in this
Okay, I have
country.
to elevate that.
Oh, we're gonna
right to speak here tonight?
we're gonna get past that part here.
Yeah, that's just the interviews outside.
Okay, hold on.
What
Hold
when
on,
are we
hold
going
on.
to?
I don't know exactly. Just hold on. Pretty well.
Okay, there we go. You can never even hear that.
All right, it is very exciting to be at this Nazi rally. I am very excited. Look at you white supremacists. Oh my God. That is... Yeah, I'm with you. USA. It's a good
No
place.
jokes, please.
No, right,
This is
no.
a
I know that's the
university.
portion. That's the portion that's going to get clipped. All right, we're very excited to be here today. These are 2 of the people, despite what I read on Facebook about them today, that are really 2 people who I hold at the highest regard in this space, this free speech space that we're in right now. And we're in a strange time. Do you guys feel that it's never been, you guys are a little younger than us for the most part, that it's never been this bonkers? Do you ever remember it being this bonkers? Waco. Okay, besides Waco. Besides Waco. We're in a crazy time right now. So the first question that I want to ask you guys, I guess I'm moderating this thing here, is do you ever remember a time that the state of free speech, the state of discourse, the state of the ability for people to just do what we're doing here has been harder than it is right now?
I don't remember a time, and I will tell you as a philosophy professor and a woman of a certain age, I have been lecturing on campuses for many years. And typically I would go to a campus, and I'm known to be a dissident feminist. I've challenged the feminist orthodoxy. I am a feminist, but I have challenged some of the extremists, as I call them. And I've gone to campus for many years, and typically people would come to debate, or sometimes they boycott, but usually we would have some kind of civil exchange. Well, in the past couple of years, I've gone to campuses where Oberlin, for example, Georgetown, where I needed a police escort at Oberlin College. I was rushed off the stage by two very nervous police women and taken to a car after my speech and taken off campus. It was ridiculous. And they had trigger warnings everywhere, posted it all over campus, and they had a safe room where students could escape if they were triggered by my talk.
Can you imagine being triggered by this woman?
I did. I triggered 30 students and a therapy dog. A dog. It's true. A dog fled, and I felt bad about that dog. That's where we are.
Yeah, Pete, you teach here. I do. I love Portland State. Thank you, everybody, for coming.
Safe space at the community society.
And I want to say the insanity and the craziness that is affecting so many universities, I am unbelievably proud to say, is not on display here tonight. So we have to be able to have civil discourse. We have to be able to have rational discussions where we can speak openly without fear.
I want to pause and talk about the introductions. Okay, so for, I guess, listeners that aren't familiar, I mean, I'm a big fan of Christina Haas Summers. I don't recognize the other panelists here personally, but
he's did that street epistemology stuff. He wrote the book what was that book called, Adam? How to create an atheist? No, what was that book?
Magna Bosco?
I forget the
Street epistemology, how to create atheists.
Or something like that.
A manual for creating atheists.
Right. And then Anthony Magnabosco, the guy that I think I've posted links before of him, he goes out and does like street conversations with people about their God beliefs.
Yeah, we listened to one of those.
That guy.
Oh, that's right. Well,
yeah, but we did Dave Rubin as well, Jeremy. Remember we did that Political Islam Part 1 and 2.
Yes,
that was the Rubin report. That's Dave Rubin.
Okay,
so.
there you go. All right.
And Peter is really the author of that street epistemology technique, and it's a fantastic. There's a free PDF for it. It's a really good one on how to deal with religious people through Socratic questioning.
Oh, nice.
So that's who he is, but he's been attacked. He's a leftist, or he's always been a liberal, and now he's being attacked by regressive leftists. So that's why he's on here.
That's what's curious is this panel. That would make. I mean, this panel is like it's 2 for 3 leftists because I mean Christina Hoff Summers is a leftist too.
And Dave Rubin used to be more so. We've talked about that. He's moving toward libertarianism more so slowly.
Good. And isn't this held in the? This is not held in the university that Dr. Bogosian is a professor at, is it?
Yeah, I believe it is.
Okay,
he makes mention of that. He makes mention of that. Mm-hmm.
Just as a side note, I don't think Dave Rubin is moving towards libertarianism on the side of social issues. I don't think financially he's moving towards
He's getting more so. If you listen to all his podcasts, he's getting more like less government is better. Slowly,
and I'm
but
going to
surely.
give him some credit on this one. And I'll probably come to that in my notes, but I'll give Rubin some credit when we come to that point.
Okay.
Well, I mean, to that point, I mean, I guess what you could similarly say that maybe Sam Harris is a leftist that seems to be flirting with a libertarian kind of mindset.
Probably
time
not
would
like on the
agree
same
that,
level as
maybe.
Dave Rubin.
Not now.
No.
Not
he's,
now, I
he's
agree.
completely off the deep end with the Trump election.
With Trump, exactly. I mean, he can't get off of spending like 40 minutes of every one of his podcasts.
I mean, Trump's why.
Yeah, but that
Trump's
said,
why
he also declared the left irredeemable at this point, so that's something.
Right.
It's true.
Who, Sam Harris did?
Yes.
But I don't think he wants
Well,
big
he'll
government.
rail against the regressive left just like Boghossian, but as you'll hear in this podcast, you'll hear some stuff that Dr. Boghossian says that like most folks, they're geniuses when it comes to one area of intellectualism, but when they get into politics, when they get into that political arena, they are just
like Hitchens,
very ignorant.
Right.
Very ignorant.
Right, but I mean, he's made certain.
Harris.
I mean, he's a gun owner. He openly mocks liberals for their views on guns.
He's a gun owner, but he's a gun control advocate too.
True, that's very true.
That's not unusual. Even Bill Maher, when it comes to their, like Bill Maher.
Bill Maher's totally a libertarian, didn't you know? He says it
yeah.
all the time.
He said it years ago. Decades, really.
I think he said he's not anymore.
You don't have to live it or believe it.
I've read that recently that
like,
Bill Maher doesn't consider himself a libertarian anymore.
Well,
when did he ever? Did he actually ever?
Can I just say thank God? I want to pat him on the back for not declaring himself that anymore.
Bill Maher, actually, when a long time back when he had his politically incorrect show,
still does, I think.
He had this is real time. Way back when he had the show called Politically Incorrect with Bill Maher. Yep. And on that show, he had Harry Brown as his guest, who was the two-time Libertarian candidate for president. And on that show, which I happen to have the video of, he declared himself a libertarian.
Wow.
I remember, for a time
that's
he
where
did.
It's like... Go ahead.
But that was way back when. I mean, you're looking at...
I remember
like
that
what,
time in the late 90s.
90... It was either 96... or 2000, that's when Harry ran.
I'm very conflicted about that kind of stuff, though, when, like, my mother will go, oh, I'm a libertarian, and I just have to stare at her, and I think, no, you're not. You think you are, but no. I mean, you can't call yourself a libertarian and then go, oh, those horrible gays, you know? And they just want to get married, and it's sinful, and
you could.
I'm a libertarian.
You could be a libertarian.
That's true.
Those horrible gays, I don't want them to get married, but by golly, I'll let them. I won't prevent them anyway. Or
yeah.
I don't want them to get married as long as stays on whatever it is. So, but anyway, I believe Adam, you said around.
Well, in Maher, one thing about him, he's on the board of directors for PETA.
Now that's interesting. I didn't know that.
Great organization.
Yep.
Yeah, he's a big animal welfare person. I knew that.
It's just
he's a vegetarian too, right?
Yeah.
God, you just can't trust those people.
Shut up.
Well, you can't trust
PETA. What are you getting so bad about? You're a vegan. You're not a vegetarian. You're a vegan.
That's me.
I'm not vegan.
You're not a vegan. I thought you were experimenting.
No, I'm just vegetarian.
I'm just gonna go.
I'm the vegan. That's
and
me.
And then I'm gonna look down my nose at all of you.
I'm the vegan. That's me. But I don't do it because like I said, I've said this before. I'm not,
She doesn't give a shit about animals.
Oh, that's crap.
I just think.
No, yeah. I mean, I believe in consistency. That's always a big thing with me. I'm like, if you're gonna be, if you're for eating animals, then you need to be for eating all animals, or otherwise not. Because I mean, I see that hypocrisy all the time, where people who readily eat meat, are always like, oh my God, the dog thing in China. It's like, well, what's the difference? It's no difference in but otherwise, like, I'm not necessarily.
That's what South Park lampooned so perfectly.
I
in
know.
their Japanese one, where they're killing the dolphins and whales, and then at the very end they start killing cows and chickens.
Yep.
Like, now they're normal, just like us.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, see, I'm like,
so fun to confront people about that kind of thing.
Yep. So, I mean, I don't mind if people eat meat, because I feel like animals probably, I mean, but, I don't.
Well, it's evolutionary. I mean,
it is.
For God's sake, we have canine teeth. We're not herbivores.
No.
It's a choice.
No, oh yeah,
And
definitely. It is
and
a
we have the
choice.
luxury. It's only because we have the luxury in this wealthy nation with abundant food to do that, you know?
I know Jeremy and I were talking about it the other night, and I'm like, well, any diet really that we have is a luxury because we always have the choice of what we want to eat.
Exactly.
So it's not just like, veganism itself isn't just a luxury alone. I mean, pretty much a Western or first world diet is luxury, so.
Because
we can choose. We can be gluten-free or vegan, or we can be,
I think for health benefits and really for ethical reasons, you can't go wrong with New York steakism. New York strip steakism, so yeah.
I'll pass on that.
Nothing like an early boy.
Maybe ribeye-ism is more your
I haven't
idea.
eaten red meat since, 82, I think.
Oh, you went I haven't eaten it in 20 years. So you've gone longer than I have. Wow.
Yep.
It still smells great to me, though.
It does. I can't go by chili. There's
I
a
haven't
stop.
had more than 20 minutes.
Huh?
I haven't had more than 20 minutes ago.
I make a pot roast every week, and I enjoy it quite a bit.
Yep.
But that's I used to probably have beef, if not daily, like at least probably 4 or 5 times a week. Growing up in rural Iowa, that's kind of.
Oh yeah, that was a staple. It was always meat and potatoes.
But I have my one beef roast a week, maybe. Actually, it's more like every 2 weeks, honestly.
All right, so should we get back to the video?
What should we get back to?
Yeah. Betsy and I are like, let's get back to the video.
What were we doing again? So we're going to skip ahead to around the 12 or 13 minute mark, I believe.
Well,
no, we're going to keep listening to the 12 or 13 minute mark.
I think keep going. I don't know what we're going to miss. I'm not sure you can really.
No, I would just keep going.
Around.
Yeah, I want to keep going.
Well, I was just going to try and cover all the points that Adam had on his notes, so that's why I was going to go.
Well, we'll have to do this in more than one part, so.
Okay.
Don't listen to Jeremy.
Thing is, I've already skipped ahead. So.
Oh, you're so fired.
Okay.
You're so fired.
All right. Here we go. We'll go back to here.
So quick to take offense to things. I don't remember a time where people were so fragile that they looked at any remark as a type of cognitive or intellectual vandalism. I can never remember a time in my whole adult life, through all my education, where that's been the case.
Yeah, and by the way, we should be clear, if protesters were here tonight, we would welcome protesters protesting peacefully. That's the point. But, creating walls. I spoke, we can talk a little bit about Milo if we want. I spoke at UCLA with Milo, and a group, about 100 people, created a human wall to stop us from speaking. So they don't like Trump's wall, but their own wall, they're okay with it.
Yeah. So what were they afraid of? Were they afraid that he would say something that would cause distress, or what were they?
We've gotten to a strange place where just doing this, as I said before, has become rare. This has become rare. I can't imagine. I'm not that much older than you guys. I'm 40. And I can't imagine being in college at a time when it would be so nuts. So let's talk about Nazis a little bit, because they're back.
That's a good segue.
They're back. I was watching Indiana Jones. I did all 3 the other day, and punching Nazis has become a thing. And so you guys probably saw this. All right, yeah, you can applaud the idea of punching a Nazi. That's pretty good, right? But most of you saw this, I'm sure, this video from Inauguration Day when Richard Spencer, who's sort of the head of the alt-right, I think he's a self-proclaimed white supremacist, he was giving an interview, and a random person just ran out there and whacked him really, hard punch to the head. Now, I defended the guy on Twitter, not what he was saying, but his right to say it without being punched. I have family members on both sides of my family. I have family members on both sides of my family that died in the Holocaust. I grew up knowing people that had tattoos on their arms. So I don't take this lightly, but I felt that I had to defend his ability to speak without violence. Are we all on the same page on this?
Well, I agree. I am Jewish, and a Nazi to me is someone so frightening, and the fact that they hold these beliefs is dismaying to me. However, if you punch a Nazi, in the United States on the street, as he, well, that was in Australia, wasn't it, where he was punched?
DC. No, it was in
That
DC. It was,
DC?
yeah.
Oh, all right. Well, I don't know why I thought Australia. If you punch a Nazi, you are actually punching civil society. We have a civil society. We have a means of evaluating and arguing out our differences. Now, you can arrest somebody for bad behavior, and then the police, will take them to jail, and then a court will determine their guilt, and then they will be punished. But unless someone's attacking and physically violating you, to punch them is we have several generations of civilization that says this is vigilantism. It is not the action of civilized person.
And everybody, we have to live in a society. Okay, but here's the problem with going around punching people. I mean, just even think about the fact that I would have to sit up here and spend 5 minutes talking about why you shouldn't punch people.
I kind of want to discuss a little bit. Okay, in principle, the non-aggression principle being one of the probably several principles that I would apply to this, debate, if you want to call it that, punching Nazis debate.
But this is what makes it so difficult, though, is that they will tell you that what their words are aggression.
Right.
And that's what I mean.
The application of the
SJWs have now taken the position that words can be violent.
Well, so that's what I'm getting at. The application of the principle and in real life, I wonder if it's airtight. Are there times when there are speech that can be countered, reasonably with force?
I don't think so, because if you do that, you're giving them license to justifiably punch back.
Right.
And that's the thing that always cracks me up about this. They're like, punch a Nazi. I'm like, really? Go find a real Nazi. Most likely he's going to be armed and you're going to be dead.
Yes, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
It's all well and good to say punch a Nazi when you're in a black bloc, but I mean, the next time the black bloc come out, the Nazis are going to come out armed.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I don't think that they're actual Nazis, but
No.
Speech that incites violence.
That's
not protected speech. If it incites property damage, things of that nature, if you tell people go burn down that building and they do it.
I'm an extremist, so I fall on the side of even that's protected.
If you're dumb enough to just do it, yeah.
What about the aspect of the couple that went around terrorizing the neighborhood and pulled out guns?
They pulled a shotgun out.
That was in South Carolina, correct?
That's a threat. That's different.
Okay.
You have crossed the area of speech and moved straight into. Yeah.
I don't know about that situation. What was that situation?
Well, it was a couple, as far as I can tell. They got prosecuted and now going to be serving 20, 25 years of life. And the aspect of that is they went around threatening African Americans at a party and did have a gun pulled out. But the question I have in regards to that, what if they didn't have a weapon, but they still threatened?
Yeah.
Does that cross the line then?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely,
So
because to threaten force.
There was no actually application of force though by that couple. I mean, just to be clear. So
but it was to threaten force.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
you're still violating their.
Can you verbally threaten force and then cross the boundary where it's acceptable to meet the force with violence? Can you do that verbally? I mean, let's pretend they didn't have the guns. Could it still be justified to be met with force? Which if someone can you threaten just without brandishing a weapon?
I think posturing. I mean, animals in the animal kingdom posture.
Yeah.
And I think people can do it too, especially when they have props. So I think it's hard to.
So isn't the prop? I guess what you said. If the weapon isn't it kind of just an arbitrary. I mean,
I don't know. Do you feel safer with somebody when they're standing there with their arms down?
How far do you want to take the principle? I guess is what I'm talking about. As far as non-aggression principle apply to the as applied to freedom of speech.
It's hard, yeah, for sure.
I'm pretty much an absolutist about this. I think you can say anything right up to the line where you threaten force. Once you've threatened force.
Yeah, because then you violate that person's NAP. Because I mean, just the perceived threat. It's like, well, when do you start saying, "Well, I need to defend myself"? When it's too late, or do I do it now when I have a warning?
As the knife is being plunged into your chest, is it when you when it's appropriate to,
Right.
Well,
to use
I mean,
force?
but again, this is something that it's like libertarianism isn't promising you a perfect world.
No.
Bad people are still going to exist,
Exactly.
but you have to abide by your convictions, even then. So I'm not saying if some guy comes rolling up and he starts acting all bellicose and he's getting in your face, you know, by all means, have your hand on a gun that's behind your back, you know. But you cannot be the one that initiates it.
No.
True.
So the fine line in that is making a direct threat in comparison to the social justice warriors, and every little thing they take as slight as being a threat. So,
it's gotten so ridiculous because it's everything is perceived as a threat.
I would just say one thing that libertarians tend to hold near and dear to their heart on this topic. If only somebody owned the roads, they could ban them from driving on it. I mean, this is what I always laugh about when it comes to the Westboro Baptist fucks. I'm sorry, people. You know, and they're out there and they're protesting and they're doing their thing, and everybody's so angry at them, and then you hear people go, yeah, but they got free speech, it's public land. And I immediately just bristle because it's just my whole instinct is just, exactly. And there's the problem.
Yep.
If somebody owned the cemetery or even the roads, like if I'm somebody who owns the, quote unquote, my roads, I would be like, nope, you're not allowed to drive down this road. This is private property.
That's my road.
That's great. That would fix it.
And then get off my property. You're not welcome here. And guess what? Boom, protest is gone.
Yep, exactly.
That's for sure.
Yeah, I know.
No more KKK down the street. No more anything.
You know, Jeremy and I were talking about that the other day too, because I don't even know if I brought this up last time we've talked, but in Scotland they have that they have a barrier-free, like all the land, like people can own land, but you have to let people like freely move upon it or camp on it as long as I think it's within a certain perimeter of your home.
Really?
Yeah, so people so anybody in Scotland, but it's never been a bad thing. People want to go because Scotland's beautiful, so people want to go and they want to hike a long way and they'll camp. And if they want to just pitch a tent on your land, they can do that.
Huh?
Hell no.
I would not be comfortable with that.
That's what they do in Scotland. It seems to work out okay.
Hello to my little friend.
Yes.
No wonder my great grandfather left Scotland.
You have to leave your back door open so they can come in and use your bathroom, or otherwise they'll dump.
No, I think there's an exception. You can't come within so far of the actual the house or anything. There's a certain.
What if you damage their property?
Well, then you're liable for it. You're actually liable for it. I think you have to let the farmer know or whatever that you're there. I think that's part of the caveat.
I think it's Scotland, so you could pretty much solve this just by getting out some golf balls and start whacking them in their general direction.
Yeah.
Charge them money.
Some whiskey.
Yeah, paint half your face blue and then look like Mel Gibson.
Right? What was that famous saying from that movie?
That wouldn't fly on my
They'll
property.
never take our freedom.
What were you saying, Curran?
I wouldn't fly on my property. I'm glad that the U.S. isn't like Scotland in that regards, because I wouldn't want people in the back. Because the thing with that is, in the U.S., I think you wind up if someone got hurt, and a sue, so there's litigious nature. So then, as a homeowner, you're going to have a huge amount of insurance, versus it would be very costly in the long run. So maybe there's some.
But I'm pretty sure it's a no fault kind of situation. I'm pretty sure. I mean, it's designed really well so the people that own the land don't get screwed. But then it allows other people to be able to just pass through. But I haven't read enough on it. But it seems like they've done it for a very long time, and it seems to work out fine for them.
It sounds like kind of trying to.
I don't know though.
Reasonable about a trespass.
Maybe that's where the term "play through" came from.
There you go.
Could be. All right, should we go back to the video?
I don't get all these golf jokes. No, actually, I get them.
If you want to live in a civil society, we have to have certain moral minimums of conduct. We have to have certain standards that we apply to. And if you want to talk, you're more than welcome to talk. Okay, so my family, I'm Armenian, and my family was in the genocide, so I'm very well acquainted with that. Thank you. Okay, so
right,
that's the thing.
We'll do a Q&A.
Everybody thinks that their beliefs are worth punching. We have people who think it's a good thing to murder abortion doctors. You can't deny that. We have people who look, even doing this talk, people were smearing me as right-wing. I voted for Jerry Brown. No, I did. I've never voted for a Republican in my life, and we've been smeared. The problem is that the semantic range of the term Nazi will necessarily increase over time. We cannot allow civil society to fall to the idea that if somebody holds a belief that's offensive, that we have to punch them. But even more than that, the problem is that doesn't give those people a chance to revise their beliefs. That doesn't give them a chance to dispel delusion. And this whole idea of teaching people a lesson, that's bullshit. Cruelty does not teach anybody a lesson. You don't teach somebody a lesson by beating them. What that does is that reinforces the beliefs they already have.
So what would you say when I hear that? And of course, I agree with you. But for the people that are well-intentioned, they don't want Nazis to come back, as I would suspect 99.9% of this room doesn't want to happen. For the people that don't want that, and they say, well, wait a minute, these white supremacists, these Nazis, whatever that extremist is, they're not playing by the same rules. So you might have to throw down the hammer on them. How do you counter that?
That's we adjudicate these things in a court of law. We have our institutions in civil society to deal with these problems. As Christina said, I think we can't have a society where if you want a society where everybody goes around being a vigilante, if you actually want that, why don't you move to Syria?
This is a pause line. I believe that's around the time that Adam, you said you had a note. This is 1341 on the video.
I had just a difficulty with Dr. Boghossian referring to the folks that punch Nazis as vigilantes. They're not vigilantes.
No.
Okay, vigilante is someone who is, in effect, taking the law in their own hands and doing, or they are taking on the work of what they think law enforcement should be doing. Okay, but the Nazi, punching the Nazi didn't do anything wrong. The Nazi was exercising his or her First Amendment rights. So you don't call them vigilantes. You know,
I'm not against vigilantism. I'm only against not taking responsibility for it.
Well, but these people aren't vigilantes because the Nazi did nothing wrong. If the Nazi had raped someone, okay, and these people then murdered the Nazi, then that you could say that would be a form of vigilantism. But to exercise your freedom of speech, when you call them vigilantes, it's as if you're saying you almost legitimize them.
Yeah.
So I'm just, and then Dr. Boghossian goes on, and he also should have kept left-right politics out of it. I think you don't have to. I mean, why is it necessary when you're trying to combat these social justice warriors that you have to assure them that some relative of yours died in some tragic historical event? You know, like that legitimizes you. I mean, you weren't the one who died, first of all, but as long as you have a relative who died in a Holocaust, that gives you
a point of
access pass.
Yeah.
To make your claims. You shouldn't even have to do that. That's just ridiculous too.
It is.
Even
well, I think they would agree with you that, and that's why they bring it up. It's that they're trying to say. I mean, again, it's the whole thing of calling Dave Rubin a homophobe. Mm-hmm. You know, and Dave Rubin can respond and go, "Hello, I'm gay."
Yeah.
You know? So it's not so much. It's like preempting somebody saying something like that.
But if I were Bogosian, I wouldn't have even brought up the fact that he voted for Jerry Brown, and
that's
that
what
was
I was talking about
too, because Jerry Brown hasn't run for president since the 70s.
Doesn't that mean governor though? You ran for governor?
Maybe, I don't know, because
I think he did. Yeah, I think he did.
I didn't think he lived in California.
No, he was the governor of California for a while.
Right, Jerry Brown was the governor of California. Twice. The governor in the 70s too.
Yeah, but I think he might have been referring to that election.
But I didn't even think that Bogosian lived in California. I thought he lived up in.
I don't know.
He lives in
Washington.
Portland.
But anyway,
yeah.
Didn't he mean to say Harry Brown, the Libertarian candidate?
And then he goes on and he brings up climate change, and I thought that's just another bad idea.
You know what he's trying to do? He's trying to appease the leftists and say like, look, I really am one of you, but I.
He's giving his credentials.
Right, exactly. Like I'm not he's trying to prove I'm not a Republican. So then, okay, well, we'll listen to you. It's just a tactic to try to get. It's
probably a necessary tactic, though. It's there's those political charts that are all over the internet, and there's a good meme. Actually a few different versions of the same meme I saw regarding that political chart. One of them, you know, in the upper left-hand corner, which is where, you know, you'd put Marxist basically, shows just like kind of like a normal like green color, and then the rest of it is a Nazi flag, and that's kind of how Antifa, Black Bloc, the far left view everyone that doesn't agree with their ideals. So, of course, these speakers might give their credentials, as in, I have ancestors, or, you know, my parents were in the Holocaust, you know, or my grandparents were in the Armenian genocide. Trying to give those credentials to show us, like, hey, you know, there's nuance here. Not everyone that's slightly to the right of you is a Nazi.
Shut up, Nazi.
Sieg Heil. Just kidding.
Hey, you know, I did look up real quick that whole, like, when I just had to check that whole thing about, you know, being able to wander through Scotland.
Yeah.
They call it freedom to roam, or every man's right, and actually a bunch of countries do it.
So is it just kind of like, is it like a squatter's rights thing, or is it just kind of a relaxed no trespass or relaxed trespassing law?
I guess it's different countries, but it's a general public's right to access certain public or privately owned land for recreation and exercise. But they can do it in Finland, Iceland, Norway, Sweden, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, Austria, Czech
Republic,
Republic,
all places
Switzerland.
Nobody wants to go.
No, it's all the places that everyone's really happy. Remember all those studies?
England,
really
Scotland, Wales, Belarus. Yeah, and it's like, I guess
socialist countries that are really happy.
But there's like a code that goes with it. Like in Scotland, for instance, it's like take responsibility for your own actions, respect people's privacy and peace of mind, help farmers, landowners, and others to work safely and effectively, care for the environment, keep your pets under proper control, and take extra care.
Blah, blah.
Yep.
Like, everybody's going to even do
There's
that.
a clause in there for a farmer to get free labor, though. It said help the landowner, basically. So
yeah.
like,
that's not bad. That's a good trade-off.
Invite them around harvest season. Is like, oh, campers, come to my property. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. And, okay, you got to pick all this out of my field, and you can crash for the night.
No, that's fair. That's fair. Put them to work.
Yeah, I guess in Scandinavia though, it's like the most rigorously protected and has been that way for centuries. So like people can camp for up to like 3 days, you know, but you can't ride a bike. I mean, you can't have any. It's all foot traffic. You can't like take a car or anything. And
interesting.
Yep. So
it's like a very, very generous easement.
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah, but anyway, so I just thought that was interesting. So.
Okay.
Why don't you move to the Congo?
Just so we actually know what to look for, when was your next note, Adam? About what time?
Adam?
Adam, are you still with us?
Oh, sorry, I was muted. I was mute my mic there.
He thought you said Alex.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Yeah, when was your next snow?
3452.
34. Oh, quite a while. Okay, yeah, let's play this.
If you really wanted anarchy, then good, you catch a plane. You can go to Syria through northern Turkey. People do it all the time. You can punch anybody in the face you want.
And you know what worries me now is the readiness of people to resort to vigilantes suggests to me that they aren't familiar with the Bill of Rights, and that we had the American Civil Liberties Union in the 60s, I think, defending, the Nazis marching in Skokie. And I just grew up with that understanding of radical freedom. You can say just about anything, and we have a tradition that in the United States of radical liberty. The United States is a free speech zone, and it's appalling to me that people don't seem to be aware of that tradition, how it evolved, and why we don't practice censorship, why we don't set up a panel of thought police who decide what can be said and what can't be said.
Right.
It can all be said. But bad ideas, the answer is better ideas. Refute them.
Yeah, and beating somebody doesn't make if you beat somebody with a ridiculous idea, they don't just suddenly lose their idea, like, oh yeah, someone kicked the shit out of me, I guess I don't believe that anymore. I mean,
That's a serious beating you got to get to get the idea out,
So you deny that person an opportunity to enter into a rational community. So even if you take a step back from that, we have to talk about what it means to be able to express your beliefs. Look, here's the problem, if I may. People are pissed off. I'm pissed off. Trump is a monstrous ignoramus, and you have every right to be upset. You have every right to be mad. You have every right to protest. I just drove my wife and daughter to the Women's March here. You have every right to do that. You are crossing an inviolable line in society when you think that you can hit somebody because you find their beliefs repugnant. You're upset, and I get it, and I'm upset, but you need to find the right way to discharge your anger. And it's not through inflicting cruelty, it's not through beating people, it's through organized civil disobedience. If these people smashing Starbucks windows and Bank of America, what do you think Trump's going to do? Oh yeah, look at that, I guess I was wrong, I'll change my book. No, but you laugh because you know it's ridiculous. It's not going to happen. What happens is that those videos are used on Fox News and they go viral. And that reinforces the narrative that we need a strong man. That reinforces the narrative that we need these jackbooted thugs to take down our cities. Every single time you are doing that, you are feeding the far-right narrative, and you need to stop.
Did anyone, or does anyone else familiar with the horseshoe theory of politics? Because I kind of was reminded. Oh yeah, I was reminded of that concept.
Like the historical context kind.
Yeah, I mean, how basically the extreme left and the extreme right curve into each other like a horseshoe, because a lot of the values and principles are very similar on both sides when you get to the extreme authoritarian ends of the spectrum.
Well, that's why I've always tried, whenever I discuss any politics with people, I always try to frame it in a authoritarian versus freedom argument, rather than a left-right. Mm-hmm. Because that, to me, is the actual, she's saying it's radical liberty, and that nobody's interested in that right now. They're interested in their ideas gaining supremacy, and the way to do that, and she's saying, is to combat it with a better idea. Uh-huh. But how do you do that when the government's enforcing one of those ideas? And that's, as the government, people keep saying, oh, I hope that civil discourse gets better in the next, it's not. The more powerful the government becomes, the more desperate the control of that government needs to become, and it's only going to get more and more fever-pitched.
So, when it comes to the government, I guess, legislative-wise, since the popularity of political correctness, how would you say it's been reflected in policy and legislation? I'm trying to think of specific examples of where politically incorrect speech or behavior has actually resulted in punishment for a person. Did anyone think of maybe an example recently?
Oh, well, hate crimes are a perfect example.
Yeah.
But I mean,
You're
it's already an
prosecuted
assault.
for a thought crime.
But it's already
what you're thinking when you do it.
It's already attached to an assault usually, though. I mean, shouldn't a person be...
Right, but I mean,
even
it's
then
elevated.
it's unexcusable.
But the penalty is elevated because
Right.
it's now a hate
That's
crime.
right. Right, it's a
That's
worse.
not just a crime now. You can do the same crime. You can murder someone. You can murder two people. If you murder one person and there's no racial overtones involved, you get one sentence.
Uh-huh.
And if you murder another person and there are racial overtones, then you get a more severe sentence.
Uh-huh.
That doesn't make any sense.
No.
I want to be the prosecutor that goes to the. I don't want to be. I want to be around when the prosecutor goes to the mother whose child was killed and go, "I'm sorry. This was not racially motivated. There was no hate crime involved, so we can't give him a harsher sentence." I mean,
Right.
The absurdity of that.
Right.
Yeah.
The value,
Mind-boggling.
the outgoing of one life against the other is what's
For arbitrary reasons.
right.
It's absurd in the
reason,
extreme.
the reason why the crime was committed, that's irrelevant. And in fact, it actually diminishes, in a way, the heinousness of the crime itself.
Uh-huh.
Because now you're stuck in this, oh, he did it because he was a certain race, creed, or color. And it kind of takes away from the fact that the guy's life has been taken away from him.
Absolutely.
When does that thought then, when they have the ability to possibly read people's thoughts, in itself it becomes a crime when nothing's been violently committed? It's the ruling that it's an extra crime on top of it for having a thought.
I could see a less technical science fiction version of Minority Report taking place, right? Where it's like we stop the crime before it happens.
That's a stated goal of law enforcement. Law enforcement, like any other industry, has a research and development wing to it. And I mean, I've read about certain law enforcement agencies, and then of course the developers of the technologies and equipment that law enforcement use would like to see kind of a Minority Report situation, if nothing else, just for the security of job security of the industry.
I mean, the irony of that movie, if you allow me to take a slight detour, the irony of that movie is that you stop the crime, right? like, okay, so now you don't need to be charged with it. Like, if you could legitimately foretell the future and stop it from happening, and then go, okay, I hope you learned a lesson. You were about to kill somebody, or you were about to beat somebody, or and then say, okay, we're gonna watch you a little bit closely, but you go on your way now because we prevented it from happening. But of course, they're like, oh, you were about to kill this person, so now you're arrested for murder before you actually did it.
Yeah, that's what was interesting about that. Is like, why punish the people for something they haven't done yet?
Right.
It probably would work that way though, because I mean, if you could, with accuracy predict the future and warn someone like, hey, you're about to murder someone. Oh, okay, well, I guess I won't do that because that means I'm going to get caught. There goes your prison industry. I mean, that's kind of a whole other rabbit hole we could get down, though.
Yeah, and then what happens when there are mistakes made?
True.
Right.
When the computer malfunctions, or the person interpreting the computer results makes a human error, then what happens?
Then you have people who are innocent going to jail, but same thing with the death penalty. When there are mistakes, what happens if you have the death penalty? Hello? Are we losing people?
Yeah.
I'm here.
No, I'm here.
Yep, we're all here.
I got kicked off. My wife called me. I'm sorry.
Oh. Nope, we're all here.
So,
Are you there? Okay.
yeah, I lost my train of thought. Sorry. I was
Okay.
just going to go back to the horseshoe ideal Republican Democrats.
You sure you only had one beer, right?
Yeah, it was a stout that was fairly strong. In regards to the whole horseshoe with the Democrats and Republicans tying together, you look at these talks with the left talking about the safe zones, and that's basically a free speech zone. But that goes back to the Republican Bush administration, where you had them saying this area is a free speech zone. You can allow to say free speech here, other areas aren't. And it seems like the left has taken that and twisted that idea, so you have zones where people can't say certain things. There are protected zones.
It's probably just about time, though. Really, if you think about it, it's probably just about time. It seems like politics. It seems like politics can be kind of cyclical.
True.
But I mean, back to what you were saying, though. I'm sorry.
No, it's true in that way. So it's a small point, trivial point I just wanted to make up in regards to that. I thought, yeah, that does seem to be a correlation there. Because when the Bush administration, they were talking about free speech zone, I'm going, what the fuck?
Right.
U.S. is a free speech zone. You can't say, oh, this is this little block over here, but you can't say anything outside of it.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
When did go from control system in that way?
Right.
So
good point.
It's totally idiotic in my opinion when that was going through. I'm glad that's kind of disappeared, but
Yeah.
Right.
Right. And
anyway.
That's what I was getting at with it being cyclical, because I do remember, the conservatives, a generation ago, I guess you want to say 20 to 30 to 40 years ago, whatnot, really was, concerned. I mean, that's what political correctness was meant back then. It was from the right wing, but now political correctness is all focused on left wing politics.
Right.
Right.
All right. So
Well, I wouldn't go as far as to say, as to agree that 20 years ago, PC was about the right, because when I first heard about it, it was a leftist that told me about political correctness, and she didn't go into detail, but I just knew that it was not good.
Well, I mean, I guess we could probably go back further, and I guess to be like, if you really, because it's just obvious, if you want to be for historical accuracy's sake, you could probably say that the 50s, to be PC in the 50s, you would have had to been right leaning. I would.
Right.
Yeah. And that's what I mean. I mean, it's political correctness doesn't have to be mutually exclusive with leftism.
That's right.
It reflects whatever the.
No, of course, no, it doesn't, and it encompasses more than just speech.
True.
There's a certain amount of behavior. In some ways, I guess you could say that the Americans with Disabilities Act is a politically correct legislation.
Yeah,
That's a good point.
That's true.
And that was passed during Bush 1.
All right, so we're picking up
But then
here.
you still have South Park, Timmy.
Oh yeah, Timmy.
Timmy. And then he and Jimmy got in that.
Oh, him and Jimmy.
What a great audience.
That was one of the best.
I mean, come out.
So much for the respecting disability. Being very delicate around that whole issue.
Somehow South Park always pushes it to the limit.
I love it.
Oh yeah.
Do leftists like South Park, or do they?
A lot of them do. A lot of them do, but then I mean they do get offended by certain episodes. But I mean, just a lot of people, they kind of. It's almost kind of like a porn for the ears. Just that just the jokes that just push it completely to the limit. And I mean, I'm kind of surprised to see some of the stuff they get away with on basic cable with that show.
I am too. I mean, why are they not being protested by these people? That
how is standard and practice is letting it go through?
Way
I think they're grandfathered in after all this time.
Yeah,
maybe
they've been doing it since what 90?
It's been 25 years, I think, or 20 years
or something. 95.
I think it was 20 years last year.
Jeez,
they had their.
That's insane. Yeah, it's all South Park. Yeah.
Does it seem to you guys that we now have a perfect storm? We have a place where these ideas festered. The three of us and many other people, and I'm sure plenty of these guys, have been trying to fight these ideas for quite some time now. And we have these ideas, and now we have Trump. And that these things are designed to now fight each other, and that for the people that really want discourse, really want ideas to flourish, we're all kind of caught in the middle right now. And that's a strange place to be, wouldn't you say?
A strange place, but it could be empowering, and we could look for ways to bridge the moderate right, the moderate left, and sensible people who treasure the civil traditions of our society and want to preserve them, want our children to learn them, mutual respect. And I just think it's, because you're not seeing it on the far right and the far left, but it's a time, I think, for a sensible civil majority to
Compromise.
organize.
Compromise.
Yes, and listen.
Yeah. And listen, yeah.
Do you think social media is making people crazy? I think Twitter's making
it's
people
making me
completely
crazy.
fucking bonkers.
I have to stay off Twitter. Don't do it late at night. You want to go to sleep, and then I get excited and start an argument, and no.
Yeah, but what do you think about that, really? That we're so inundated in information now. The way 10 years ago, you couldn't just, now I can literally, before I get out of bed, I can see 20 people tell me to go fuck myself. That's not that's not the right way to start the day. You know what I'm saying? That's not a good way. Gotta have coffee first.
Yeah. I don't know. I struggle with it myself. It's very easy. I mean, look, this is the first thing I do every morning. Honestly, I reach over, I look at the time, and I immediately go to the news, and I think, oh my God, what insanity has Trump done? Like, in the last 6 hours or so since I went to sleep, what has this guy done? And then I look at my Twitter feed, and then I say, why do I wake up every day like that? I do think that there's a certain incivility that you can get away with it.
Wait, Pete, sorry, I just got a notification. We actually just invaded Canada. Wow.
Finally.
It's about time, I know.
Yeah, I do think it makes it very easy to smear people and to call people names. I do think that there's something in that medium, especially the anonymity of it, that's really not good for civil discourse. But yet I can't seem to get off of it myself, so.
What about the words? All the things that I was reading, more so about you guys than me today, about, racist and you hate women and I was called a homophobe. I'm married to a dude, but whatever. Nobody's perfect, But really, this is the crazy. I mean, really, on the whatever the Facebook post was that was going to come here and protest, they were saying that we're anti-LGBT. I did some pretty LGBT stuff last night.
That was great.
That was awesome.
It's so funny.
Boom.
Mic drop.
Yep.
I have a question in regards to that. He turns on the television, he's shocked at what Trump has done, but why should it be that big of a shock? Because from what I can see, everything that Trump said he was going to do or has done, he said he's going to do in the campaign.
Yeah.
And it's just the same playbook. This should not be a shock. Maybe it's a shock that it actually is happening, and they just can't accept that part. But
the reason Dr. Boghossian is so shocked is because it's obvious that he is stuck in the left-right paradigm, and you don't get a chance to hear Dr. Boghossian talk politics very often because he's too busy talking about street epistemology. But this was a good forum because he really let his political beliefs come to the surface. So you got an idea of, not that there was any doubt about what he believed in, but he would very rarely articulate it in other lectures because he was pushing his street epistemology agenda. But this guy is just severely stuck in the left-right paradigm. I mean, why didn't you wake up for the last 8 years and notice anything nuts that Obama did?
Exactly.
Or Bush before him. I mean, it's just, again, I mean, he's just this, he's tunnel vision politically.
Right.
It's not surprising.
And it detracts from the topic of this debate, don't you think? I mean, it just...
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's clearly a bias,
bias,
but
right.
but it's good that you see how ignorant the man is politically. As that he's so brilliant in terms of this technique called street epistemology, but you bring him into politics and he doesn't know whether shit or wind his watch.
Well, and that's exactly what happens in the street epistemology group when we get into politics. Have you noticed that? I almost never get involved in that, but I sure have lately.
Yeah, I mean, they're all a bunch of leftists.
They're so holier than thou about just...
Especially when they bring politics in and they start challenging people's political ideology. And well, what's your goal? To turn the person apolitical? That should be your goal. Right. Because if you're turning people into atheists, then if you find a neocon or a libertarian, you should want to turn them, as well as any leftist, into a person who's apolitical. Oh, no, we don't want to do that.
Exactly.
Why not?
It's so entertaining.
Yeah, definitely.
Plus, they want to say that you can apply the Socratic method to any subject. And Adam, you and I have talked about that.
Yeah, that's what. So, well, you could certainly try.
Right.
But there's a problem with politics because this is not like believing in a supernatural entity or some form of mysticism. There's no ethics or morals involved in that.
Exactly.
And there's also no evidence
large
of any of that. You know what I mean? You have that framework of like, okay, nothing supernatural is evidence-based. But with politics, it's all
evidence-based.
Yeah.
Government exists.
That's
Socialism exists.
Yep.
Communism exists.
Right. And for
I would have a philosophical argument with that, actually.
Go ahead.
Well, I mean, philosophically, I'm okay. Government or governance, that exists, but you can argue, I think, pretty reasonably that the state doesn't exist. I mean, you would say, well, of course the state exists because you have the branches of government and you have the various representatives and the cabinet positions and the president and whatnot. I mean, isn't that just clergy? I mean, the state as an entity, disregarding the infrastructure.
We obey it because we have faith that it's there.
Because
they're just going to kick our ass if we don't.
Well, yeah, but really, I mean,
going to jail is pretty much evidence that you better not do.
But but we still kind of find. I've thought about that before. We still kind of find or blindly follow along in a certain way because we have way more regular citizens than we do police force.
Oh, absolutely.
Sure.
So I mean, if all of us thought, if all of us thought we're done with this bullshit, we could take it back. But that doesn't happen. We believe in that. I think Jeremy's got a point there about that whole.
Right. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's like, do you stop at a stop sign at 4 a.m. when nobody is around?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's kind of like, if you do, then you're imposing on yourself the state. Yeah. Really.
Yeah, it is, and absolutely
that's fear of the threat, just kind of like the fear of going to hell. That's a good point.
That's why there's a California stop. You know what everybody should know what that is. California stop.
That's where you just kind of
come to a stop.
Nope, you kind of roll into it. You roll into it. You look around, but from a distance, no one's coming. You just keep going.
The rolling stop, you mean?
Yeah, rolling.
Yep.
Yeah.
You get the speed down to about between like 3 and 5 miles per hour.
Yeah.
But you don't completely stop.
The last time I got pulled over by a cop was when I did that, and the corn wasn't high enough that time to get the high car on that corner.
Oh, I remember. Jeremy and I grew up in the corn.
Oh, yes, we did.
If it had just been July, I would have been fine.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, Jeremy and I grew up in the corn.
Yep.
Right in the Midwest.
Yeah.
Now, in our state, in Georgia, there's a law where the cop car has to be visible from a certain distance. I don't know what that distance is, but you have to be able to see it. Now, most people don't know the law, so they don't fight it.
So do you think cops just were like, well, it's a he said, she said thing, so the cops don't really worry about it? I have a feeling that happens.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, because how can you videotape someone going through a stop sign, let's say, and a cop they can't see you. unless they have some kind of hidden camera around the corner or something,
they
can't see you. So if they can't see you and you can't see them, how do they know you didn't come to a stop?
Well, this guy saw me because he was up on a hill, kind of.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was a.
I've been in
street. Yeah, and I just didn't look. I mean, I just didn't see him, and he was coming out over this hill and saw me. So that, in that case, I was guilty, but I did get out of the. I didn't get a ticket. No, I didn't do anything weird.
I've been in situations where the cop couldn't see the traffic until they cleared the intersection. So how can he tell whether or not they stopped?
Yeah,
I mean, it's just anyway.
Where were we?
I forgot where we were. Yeah.
Well, we're kind of in a position.
Government is real. Yeah. So
right.
Government's real. So if you try to, and
again, more is not proving the state, but like say in one of those discussions, like if you're talking about minimum wage, both sides can pull out, so-called evidence or research studies that show that their side is right. So you're never going to come to. So neither position is starting from that the other side cannot produce evidence. You know what I mean?
Right,
so it's endless discussion and fight that doesn't solve by questioning.
What's undisclosed is that 9 times out of 10, if not more, how is that possible? I don't know. 9 times out of 10, it's always a leftist trying to convert a libertarian or a conservative or a neoconservative. But the leftist isn't upfront about what they're doing.
That's right.
They're not upfront about, oh no, we don't want to make you apolitical. We want to take you as a Republican or a libertarian, and we want to make you into a Democrat or a socialist.
Right. Yeah. Right. It's like two religions fighting with each other.
Right. That's exactly what it is. It's like you're trying to
like a Muslim
turn a Jew into a Catholic or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah. It's not coming from the same playing field.
Right. So they're not upfront. They're dishonorable to a certain extent.
But when you try to tell them this technique doesn't work with that, they get furious.
Yeah, they really do, because they think they're on the moral high ground.
Yes, they do.
And they don't realize that each party has their own sets of morals and values.
Right. Yeah.
And so they don't know how to. If they knew how to approach it, they wouldn't be leftists.
You're right.
That's the thing.
Well, they already have a certain set ideas of like the minimum wage, that it's immoral. It's a moral high ground they're trying to take in regards to, because people need a living wage, and they don't want to hear any argument that is counter to that or any evidence. So it's like a religion in a certain sense.
It is.
If they don't like what they hear, they wind up basically banning you from their
exactly.
Yeah, I don't normally engage them when it comes to politics, but if I do, the first thing that I say is, okay, so now when is it permissible to use force against someone to get them to do what you want them to do, or prohibit them from doing what they want to do? And that crosses them up.
They don't even, that concept is completely alien to them.
Oh no, because they'll say things like, who's talking about force?
Right.
Who's talking about using force again? They don't even understand what force is.
I use a similar tactic, and I say, is like, okay, when would you put the gun to the guy's head? At what point would you put the gun to the person's head? Yeah. And that's the analogy I use. But yeah, same concept.
They don't see going from A, B, C, and D, and they don't see the C and D and connecting to A and B. Yeah. They don't use the rational analysis.
Right.
Well, this has to come from somewhere. They find something to disconnect it, or they don't want to see the connection. And it's almost impossible to get through that this is how it is with the government. It is a matter of force. So dealing with it's almost impossible. I don't even try bringing that up with them normally, because it doesn't serve a point. They'll totally deny it and say there is no force, and they'll make us do something one way or another. And that part I just don't get. I mean, they're saying things about the left and how they view economics that is preposterous to me. It's like, don't you just see what is there? I mean, it is, in my opinion, a cult-like religious experience for them. Especially some of the followers of Bernie have turned into a cult of personality associated with them.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm not going to be able to see any of that stuff anymore. They blocked me completely.
I know you got kicked out finally.
I'm not kicked out. Not only kicked out, they blocked me so I can't see them. So I have to create another Facebook thing.
You've been erased.
I can't create another Facebook thing and go and troll them again. So it's like, okay, kick me out, that's fine, but you're going to block me? It'll just give the person motivation to do it even more.
Exactly.
They're lovely people, really. They're just so sweet.
I'll probably live a lot longer by not being on those groups. So my stress level will probably go down, read some of that stuff, dealing with it. So probably for my own health, it's probably a good thing. I guess.
That's funny. There's lots of places to do it, though. You'll just find a new one.
No, I'd rather go back to the same one and troll them. It'd be a lot more fun. But anyway, because there's 30,000 members in there.
I can't believe that. 30,000 Bernie crats.
Yeah.
The burnouts.
It's not insane if you look at the following Bernie had and how many people. I went to a rally in Tucson just to hear what the man said. I went to hear what how the group reacted to it.
You went to a rally?
Yes, I actually went to a rally and there were 15,000 people.
Wow.
In Tucson.
Huh.
And Tucson's a town of about 500,000 legal people, about 1 million people in total. You count people illegally there. Wow. But it was a fairly substantial rally. You don't normally get that amount of people showing up to it. He had a substantial crowd there, but having 30,000 followers who believe in him is not a shock to me.
Right.
There are people out there who do believe in the U.S. who are American citizens who do believe in a socialist European style of democracy here in the U.S.
How many of them believe, though, that Bernie can still win?
Oh, yeah, they feel that Bernie got totally cheated.
Oh, of course.
The Democrats are corrupt. Well,
he probably did, really.
Well, that's
he probably did get cheated.
Do they think he's going to run again? Are they trying to? I mean, because I'm totally out of that loop.
They're saying they want him to run again.
He'll be so old by that time.
Like 78?
Well, they might have to reanimate him to get him to run again. So. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he's getting up there in age, but they'll find someone else to fill the niche. And there's people who believe in the same philosophy. It's the same thing on the Republican side.
Elizabeth Warren would be perfect. She'll do it. She'll run eventually.
She seems to be like
she's just a
the next in the line of the lineage of American socialists. I think we about hit that 90 minutes mark, Heather.
We have.
Yep, we do. We need to give we'll stop the recording here, but we'll be hanging on the line. So.
All right.
All right. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you for tuning in.
Thanks.
Oh, wait a minute. Crap. I didn't mean to. Hold on. Let me call him.
Hang up on everybody.
I did.
Are you there, Jeremy?